his second year, because the NBA used to be just as physical, or if not more physical, than the current WNBA. Now, the referees wasn't as bad. These are probably the worst referees we have seen in all of basketball ever, bro. Now, with all that being said, the homeboy over on Twitter, Mike, he put together a collection of tweets kind of breaking down his thoughts as well about this whole situation. He stated, "This is what I mean when I say I think Caitlin Clark adding a lot of muscle."
Caitlin Clark appears set to miss another contest due to ongoing injury concerns. Various sources suggest she may be consulting additional medical professionals, with some believing her condition might be more serious than initially reported. The situation remains fluid as evaluations continue. Recent discussions have centered around Clark's rapid muscle development and its potential impact on her physical well-being. A fitness expert who previously worked with Michael Jordan has drawn parallels between the two athletes' situations, offering insights into how similar challenges were addressed in the past. During Jordan's early NBA career, the league maintained an extremely physical style of play, comparable to today's WNBA intensity.
A lot of muscle so quick may of impacting her mechanics, thus leading to so many soft tissue injuries. Now, I have to agree with him. He is definitely right. I've been an advocate in saying this, and he has too as well. Just like bodybuilders walk different, although that is a pretty drastic example, I wanted to make a point. Then let's read this right here. So he went on ahead and asked, overview. Overview stated, yes, adding too much muscle can potentially.
However, officiating standards differed significantly from current basketball oversight, which many consider subpar across all levels of the sport. Social media commentary has emerged analyzing Clark's muscular gains and their possible connection to her recent health setbacks. One observer noted that adding significant muscle mass quickly might affect biomechanics, potentially contributing to soft tissue problems. This theory suggests that rapid physical changes can alter movement patterns, similar to how bodybuilders often display modified walking styles. Though this represents an extreme comparison, medical consultation confirmed that excessive muscle development can indeed disrupt movement mechanics, particularly when it creates muscular imbalances or limits joint mobility. This appears to be occurring with Clark, where uneven development may have weakened certain areas while strengthening others.
Yes, adding too much muscle can potentially hurt walking mechanics, particularly if it leads to muscle imbalance or restricts joint movement. And guys, I'm here to tell you that is exactly what is happening with Caitlin Clark. I believe there's an imbalance in her walk that has caused the other side of her leg to be kind of weakened, and the league being as physical as it is isn't helping as well. But let's check out what Michael Jordan trainer actually said that he did with him.
The league's physical nature compounds these issues. The trainer who worked with Jordan revealed specific details about the basketball legend's early career struggles. Jordan frequently suffered groin strains and ankle problems during his second season, injuries remarkably similar to Clark's current difficulties, particularly the groin issues. The training philosophy emphasized addressing existing injuries before pursuing enhanced performance. The approach prioritized health over immediate gains in speed, strength, and quickness.
What Michael Jordan trainer actually said that he did with MJ to kind of help him overcome these injuries. Roll the footage.
One thing that he was very susceptible to was groin pulls and ankle injuries. So
now, what that sound like? This sound like the exact same injuries Caitlin Clark is getting. Groin injuries, except for the ankles, but definitely.
Traditional training methods often focus on making athletes faster and stronger first, but this can increase injury susceptibility. The trainer's methodology reversed this approach, believing that improved health naturally enhances performance. Clark's situation mirrors this pattern exactly. The muscle mass she developed, which generated significant attention when photos surfaced showing her enhanced physique, may actually be working against her. Initial reactions suggested this development would help her withstand the league's physical demands, but evidence indicates otherwise.
Caitlin Clark is getting groin injuries, except for the ankles, but definitely groin pulls.
I said, let's address those things first. The more healthy you are, the better you'll be able to play. And I said, let's worry about being quicker, stronger, faster later. And most people put the concept of we need to make you quicker, stronger, faster first. The quicker, stronger, faster you make an individual, the more susceptible they are to injuries.
Boom. Guys, that is currently what is happening with Caitlin. See, Caitlin is more susceptible to actually.
The core issue involves athletes learning to control their enhanced capabilities. While training teaches acceleration and power generation, it often neglects deceleration and control mechanisms. This creates problems when players must quickly stop or change direction with their new strength and speed. The trainer's philosophy centered on addressing existing injuries first, allowing natural performance improvements to follow health gains. This approach directly contrasts with conventional methods that prioritize performance enhancement over injury prevention.
Currently, what is happening with Caitlin. See, Caitlin is more susceptible to actually getting injuries by adding all that muscle, bro. All the muscle everybody was reporting on, even me, all the muscle. This right here, bro. We remember when these pictures dropped, we seen Caitlin Clark yelling and she was ripped. Everybody thought it was just going to be kumbaya and she was just going to be a monster. She wasn't going to be getting hit the way she's been getting hit. And I'm here to tell you that is not the case.
Clark may benefit from consulting Tim Grover's specialized recovery services immediately. Medical intervention, possibly including stem cell therapy, might be necessary for optimal healing, though such decisions require proper medical guidance.
Is not the case. This is what pretty much is the Achilles heel to Caitlin Clark at this moment.
Because they don't know how to handle that extra speed. They don't know how to handle that extra quickness. They don't know how to handle that extra power. When you do those things, you got to learn how to stop too. So everyone teaches you how to go, go, go. No one teaches you how to stop. So my big philosophy was all right, let's deal with the injuries that you have. Let's take care of those things first. And by doing that, the more healthier you get, it's automatically.
Medical experts emphasize following professional medical advice, particularly regarding rest periods. While some suggest Clark could seek independent medical opinions and treatment options, communication between player and team management regarding such decisions remains unclear. The situation creates additional complications due to apparent tensions within the team environment. Recent incidents have highlighted friction between Clark and some teammates, including situations where other players expressed frustration about recognition and attention distribution. Social media posts from family members of teammate Kelsey Micheal have surfaced, expressing criticism of Clark's impact on team dynamics.
Let's take care of those things first. And by doing that, the more healthier you get, it's automatically going to improve your game. One thing that he was very susceptible.
Now, I feel like Caitlin Clark need to go see Tim Grover immediately. I mean, as soon as possible. Now, granted, she do got to talk to doctors. I believe Caitlin Clark is going to need some type of stem cell injection shot to possibly get back sooner. But as of right now, it is not looking good. Scott Agnes just put this out yesterday, and he pretty much let it be known. It's already ruled out that Caitlin Clark is.
These posts, some of which were later deleted, questioned Clark's value to the organization and suggested she might be more detrimental than beneficial. One post specifically stated that Indiana should reconsider Clark's role, claiming she causes more problems than solutions. Another criticized her defensive effort and ability to handle physical play, suggesting her current performance level would become her standard rather than an anomaly. The commentary praised Micheal's consistency and durability, noting she completed an entire season without missing games while finishing 10th in MVP voting and contributing significantly to the team's playoff qualification. However, this overlooks the fact that the franchise only reached playoff contention after Clark's arrival, despite Micheal and other core players being present in previous unsuccessful seasons.
And basically, the Studbud said they're going to bring Dave Portnoy on their stream. Like, they're going to go and bring Dave Portnoy on the stream, and they're going to confront Dave Portnoy on what Dave Portnoy said about Angel. And, like, look, at the end of the day, I don't think Dave Portnoy has said anything bad, like, that bad about Angel Reese. He doesn't like Angel Reese, but
Micheal's family members defended her status as the franchise cornerstone, acknowledging that while she may not receive Clark's media attention, she
bad about Angel Reese. He doesn't like Angel Reese, but doesn't seem to be anything more than that. Like, he hasn't said anything like really, really bad about her. Like, well, sorry. To whatever extent you mean bad. Like, has he probably crossed the line in terms of fandom? Probably. But, like, the worst thing he said about Angel Reese was that she was a classless piece of shit. And he also called Brona Power Cassidy a classless piece of shit, who is...
Clark's situation may serve as a learning experience for other athletes facing similar rapid physical development challenges. Moving forward, the focus must remain on proper medical treatment and recovery protocols. Whether through team medical staff or independent consultation, addressing the underlying biomechanical issues appears crucial for long-term success. The situation continues developing as medical evaluations and team dynamics evolve throughout the ongoing season. The inevitable has occurred. Medical veteran WNBA supporters are attempting to eliminate the stud buds from the conversation once more.
Called Brona Power Cassidy a classless piece of shit, who is Irish and from 5 minutes away from where, from like 10 minutes away from where I live. He's also called her a classless piece of shit for hitting Caitlin Clark. But at the end of the day, like, the WNBA, old WNBA fans are trying to cancel these because they're, you know, they're not going to just do whatever the hell they want them to do. Let's be real. No one's going to cancel Angel Reese for some of her podcast guests.
These two personalities represent perhaps the most captivating pair currently associated with the WNBA landscape. Their appeal stems from pure entertainment value combined with an upbeat approach and positive messaging that highlights the league's best qualities. During All-Star Weekend events, a podcast appearance featured Dave Portnoy discussing his appreciation for the Stud Buds. The duo subsequently announced plans to feature Portnoy on their broadcast, intending to address his previous comments regarding Angel Reese. Examining Portnoy's actual statements about Reese reveals nothing exceptionally harsh. While he clearly dislikes her, his criticism hasn't reached extreme levels.
Like, some of her podcast guests have equally as bad a reputation as Dave Portnoy. And in reality, some of the stuff that Portnoy said, like, I don't like Dave Portnoy, and this is not even come to defense of Dave Portnoy. But what he has said, other than, like, actually said, not just dumb, idiotic jokes 20 years ago. What Dave Portnoy has actually said when it comes to the WNBA.
Regarding crossing boundaries in sports fandom, Portnoy may have stepped over lines occasionally. His harshest comment labeled Angel Reese as lacking class, though he applied identical language to Brona Power Cassidy, an Irish athlete from a nearby location. Similar terminology was used when discussing her actions toward Caitlin Clark. Veteran WNBA supporters seek to eliminate these personalities because they refuse to conform to prescribed expectations. Reality suggests no one will eliminate Angel Reese based on her podcast selections, considering some of her guests possess reputations equally questionable as Portnoy's.
He's not, you know he's not going to say something that bad. You know he's not going to say something that bad. And, like, what's the point of policing who people can and can't talk to? And Courtney Williams has essentially gone and clapped back, being like, you're not going to tell me who to talk to. But it doesn't matter. And you've got all the old WNBA, stub buds, it was fun while it lasted. But I'm like, these same people tried to cancel them because they refused to shit talk Sophie Cunningham on their stream.
Examining Portnoy's actual statements about the WNBA rather than decades-old inappropriate jokes reveals relatively mild criticism. The concept of controlling who individuals can communicate with seems pointless, as Courtney Williams demonstrated by rejecting such restrictions. Previous attempts to eliminate the stud buds occurred when they declined to discuss Sophie Cunningham during broadcasts and refused to permit criticism of other athletes on their platform. A distinction exists between hosting someone who has criticized players versus their previous stance, creating a valid argument. However, the inconsistency becomes apparent when considering that certain controversial figures receive approval based on their acceptable controversial positions.
To shit talk Sophie Cunningham on their stream. They refuse to let people, they literally refuse to let people on their stream like call out and criticize other players. And at the end of the day, like, if you want to say, okay, there's a different thing when it comes to they're bringing somebody on.
WNBA athletes continue supporting Antonio Brown's social media presence, and some have endorsed posts comparing Caitlin Clark to male athletes. This represents reality. Interactions occur with individuals holding different values, and personal choices determine these relationships. Rejecting cancel culture means accepting these decisions. Whether the stud buds choose to engage with Portnoy or avoid him remains their prerogative. A positive business relationship with Portnoy could generate unprecedented income and financial security for both personalities.
They're bringing somebody on that has criticized other players, and it goes against that. That's the argument you can make. But like, the problem is that some players, you are allowed to talk, according to these people, you are allowed to talk to controversial figures who have said crazy things, as long as it is, approved crazy things. Like, you've seen there are still WNBA players that are liking Antonio Brown's post. There are WNBA players themselves that have liked posts about Caitlin Clark, comparing Caitlin Clark to a man.
Maintaining artificial moral positions to satisfy WNBA social media critics proves counterproductive, especially since these critics neither generate revenue nor watch games. These online voices seek controversy to force conformity among all players while avoiding actual viewership of games or streams. This situation parallels previous incidents where Portnoy's "ball don't lie" chants were labeled harassment, with calls for his ban from NBA events. While Portnoy may not be admirable, examining Angel Reese's podcast guests reveals interesting comparisons. Her second guest ever was Cheryl Swoops, whose comments about Caitlin Clark received celebration from the same critics now attacking the stud buds.
About Caitlin Clark, comparing Caitlin Clark to a man. Like, those posts exist. And at the end of the day, like, this is the real world. This is the real world. Like, you are going to talk to people and you're going to interact with people that maybe don't have every single one of the same values as you do. But at the end of the day, you make that decision. Fuck all this cancel culture. You make that decision. If the Stubbos didn't want to talk to Portnoy,
the double standard permits harsh treatment of specific WNBA players deemed acceptable targets, primarily Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, Sophie Cunningham, and anyone associated with Clark's circle. Kelsey Mitchell remains protected due to her likable nature and utility in comparisons favoring her over Clark. Recent family situations involving Mitchell will likely amplify this protection. Courtney Williams' response tweet declaring her independence in choosing conversation partners would have been better left unsent. Focusing on entertaining, engaging streams serves audiences better than social media debates.